Happy Friday, Brian Mann here with the weekly update. First, I want to invite you to our ninth annual Fall Fiesta taking place Saturday, November 11th. We're super stoked to do this again. It's going to be an incredible event. It's also a benefit for Conscious Alliance. They're a local food bank nonprofit. We'd love to have you come out. Please make sure to RSVP. All the info is in this email. We'd love to see you there. Let's talk about what happened this week. Monday was a relatively quiet news day because the Federal Reserve was meeting this week, so everyone was just kind of waiting to see what was going to happen there. Their meeting started on Tuesday. We'll talk more about that in a moment. Tuesday this week, we got housing starts for new construction homes. They were down 11%. This is really mostly in the multifamily area. If we look at single-family residences on a month-over-month basis, they were down 4%. On a year-over-year basis, so they're up 2%. Completion, so this is single-family homes that were done, we're down 7% on a month-over-month basis. It almost feels like what we're seeing right now is that you've had these Federal Reserve rate hikes. The hikes are causing pain in the construction market a little bit as far as financing costs are concerned. Their borrowing costs have gone up, and they're pushing through the homes that are being completed, but there's really less on the table for more completions in the future. Unfortunately, this is going to impact housing inventory, which is already at record lows, but that's kind of what we're seeing in the new construction side. Wednesday this week, we had the conclusion of the Federal Reserve meeting. So it started on Tuesday, ends on Wednesday. Then you get a press conference, which was Jerome Powell speaking. As widely expected, they did not move rates. What's always important about the press conference, though, is the Q&A after he has kind of the prescribed speech. And they asked him, how do you know when you tighten too much? And the response was, well, we'll know when we get there. Unfortunately, it's like the Federal Reserve is just driving a car looking in the rearview mirror right now. They're so data dependent. But if you look at the CPI reading, you look at this, 43% of this is made up from shelter costs. While shelter costs lag by 12 to 16 months, if you look at real-time shelter costs, they're very different than what the report shows. And if we went off real-time numbers, inflation is really in that like 2.5% range right now. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. And we also look at the dot plot. The dot plot is anonymous information from the voting members. It shows what they anticipate for rate hikes or rate reductions. It was pretty unanimous that they all saw one more rate hike this year and then reductions moving into next year. We'll have to wait and see what happens. I'm not sure I actually truly believe them. There was an article in the Wall Street Journal today that basically said the Federal Reserve is full of it. They said if you look at all the cycles they've gone through in the past, they always over tighten, at least to a recession. Then they've over tightened, and then they have to just drop rates very quickly and rates plummet. And I probably think we're going to see the same thing moving into next year. I won't be surprised if we see that. Thursday this week, we got existing home sales. Existing home sales on a month-over-month basis were down 0.7%, but inventory is also down 1% on a year-over-year basis. So I'm not surprised to see less existing home sales because inventory is at record lows. And when you have inventory at record lows, there's just not much out there to choose from. If you separate out overpriced stuff or just homes that really aren't that great based on condition, location, et cetera, and the overpriced, there's really not a lot of inventory to choose from out there. So I'm just not surprised to see a lower number in existing home sales. Not much to talk about today. Markets are kind of recovering today from the reaction from Jerome Powell's comments on Wednesday. It's good to see. We got a lot more news coming out next week, so I'll have to wait and see what happens. I'm around all weekend. If you want to learn how we're closing purchase transactions in 15 days, give me a call. I'd love to help you. Happy Friday. Have a great day.